Let me set the scene real quick. I'm standing in my driveway, coffee in hand, still in my work boots, and this woman's waving a bright pink notice at my face like she's the queen of the block. My lawn, she says, is an eyesore that violates community standards. The price tag? A $1,900 fine. For some grass that's maybe an inch longer than my neighbor's. That's rich. Little did Karen know, she was barking up the wrong tree. See, I'm the mayor of this district, and what was about to unfold would make the next HOA meeting one for the history books. I moved into this neighborhood about 6 years ago. Nice place, quiet, family-friendly, lots of retirees walking their dogs in the morning. I bought a modest brick rancher on the corner, nothing flashy. I liked that it wasn't in one of those cookie-cutter developments with too many rules. Or so I thought. Turns out the HOA here has been run like a private little kingdom by a handful of busybodies who've got nothing better to do than measure the shade of your mailbox or the length of your lawn with a ruler. But I mostly kept my head down, didn't stir the pot. My job keeps me busy enough between city council meetings, school board partnerships, and, yeah, being the district's elected mayor, I've got plenty to do without worrying about how fast the grass grows after a storm. Karen, her real name's Denise, but everyone calls her Karen because, well, she earned it moved in about a year ago. She's maybe in her early 50s, bleach blonde bob, always wearing some overpriced athleisure get-up like she just left a tennis match at a country club. From day one, she came in hot. First, it was the neighbor's American flag being too large. Then it was the teen down the street parking his beat-up sedan on the curb. You know the type every conversation ends with, "I'll be bringing this up at the HOA board meeting." I first ran into her wrath after a solid week of rain. My yard, like a lot of folks around here, got a little wild. Nothing out of control, no jungle, no snakes slithering around, just some tall grass that I was planning to cut as soon as the sun decided to show up. But that wasn't good enough for Karen. She strutted over while I was getting my morning paper and slapped that fine notice into my palm like she was serving me court papers. "Your property is in clear violation of the HOA landscaping code," she said, nose in the air like she'd just sniffed something foul. "Appreciate the heads up," I said deadpan. "I'll take care of it this weekend." "That won't do. We expect immediate compliance." The board voted unanimously, $1,900 fine, due by the end of the month. And that's when I really looked at the paper and laughed. Not a polite chuckly, a full-on, caught-me-off-guard belly laugh. She scowled at me like I'd just kicked her purse dog. "Something funny about this?" she snapped. "Yeah," I said. "You're trying to find the mayor of this district for grass. That's funny." Her face went red so fast I thought she might pop a vessel. "That doesn't exempt you from the rules." "Of course not. But it does mean I'm real familiar with which rules apply and which don't. And I'm guessing you didn't read the municipal landscaping codes before you tried this stunt." That should have been the end of it. A sane person would have backed off, maybe issued a sheepish apology. Not Karen. Nope, she doubled down. She fired off emails to the HOA mailing list blasting me for setting a bad example, called an emergency HOA meeting, and even went door-to-door trying to stir up outrage. Here's where it gets juicy. See, Karen didn't realize that the HOA's precious little bylaws hadn't been updated in over 15 years. And those bylaws, they're subordinate to city ordinances. And our ordinances? Well, thanks to a recent initiative I pushed through, residential properties under half an acre like mine are exempt from nuisance grass citations during declared wet weather periods. Guess what we were in the middle of? A declared wet weather period. I watched her storm around the neighborhood, gathering signatures for some kind of petition. The same neighbors she was trying to rile up were the ones she'd annoyed over the past year. Folks weren't lining up to back her crusade. One of my favorites was old Mr. Jenkins, who told her point blank, "Lady, if you want to find someone, go find Mother Nature." The emergency HOA meeting came around, and let me tell you, it was something else. Picture a dozen or so neighbors in folding chairs at the community rec center. Karen at the front like she's presiding over a trial, binder in hand, ready to make her case. I sat in the back, arms crossed, just listening. She laid out her slideshowies, a slideshow with photos of my lawn from different angles like it was a crime scene. The kicker? One of the photos clearly showed standing water, proof positive of the wet weather exemption. Finally, I stood up. "Karen," I said, keeping my voice level, "I appreciate your passion for neighborhood aesthetics, but you're wasting everyone's time. The city ordinance makes it clear. No fines, no violations during wet weather periods. And that includes my yard." She tried to interrupt, but I held up my hand. Furthermore, you sent out fine notices without proper board approval. That's a violation of HOA procedure. And just so everyone here knows, I've referred this to our city attorney for review. Because sending out fraudulent fines? That could open the HOA up to some real legal trouble. You could hear a pin drop. Someone in the back muttered, "Well, damn." That's when the twist came in. Turns out, the HOA treasurer, quiet guy named Sam, who rarely said much at meetings, stood up and added, "And, just so everyone knows, Karen didn't even pay her own dues this quarter. We've got bigger issues than someone's grass." Boom. The air just whooshed out of her sails. Karen tried to pivot, claiming there must have been a clerical error, but it was too late. The room had turned. The board voted to rescind the fine notice and issued her a formal reprimand for overstepping her authority. But I wasn't done. Since she'd made such a fuss, I took it one step further. I proposed a review of the HOA bylaws to align them with current city codes and to prevent this kind of nonsense from happening again. The board agreed unanimously, I might add. And guess who was asked to step down from her role on the Architectural Review Committee? Yep, Karen. By the end of the month, my lawn was trimmed, the sun was out, and Karen's reign of terror was over. I still see her walking her dog, but she keeps her head down these days. We wave. Sort of. So what do y'all think? Was I right to push back the way I did, or should I have just let it slide? Thanks for sticking with me through this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you've got your own wild HOA story or an idea for the next video, drop it below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more neighborhood drama and legal takedowns.